Donald Trump sort of closed out his weekend tirade on Truth Central by attacking General Mark Milley and doing it in a way that could potentially get Trump jailed, awaiting trial, based on some of what judges have said in the various criminal trials Trump is involved in. Donald Trump taking to Truth Social and saying, quote, Mark Milley, who led perhaps the most embarrassing moment in American history with his grossly incompetent implementation of the withdrawal from Afghanistan, costing many lives, leaving behind hundreds of American citizens and handing over billions of dollars of the finest military equipment ever made, will be leaving the military next week. Remember, had Trump done that plan, it would have been the exact same thing. Milley would have also been involved, but it was Trump's plan that Biden executed. That's the important thing to remember. Trump continuing, this will be a time for all citizens of the USA to celebrate. This guy turned out to be a woke train wreck who, if the fake news reporting is correct, was actually dealing with China to give them a heads up on the thinking of the president of the United States. This is an act so egregious that in times gone by, the punishment would have been death. A war between China and the United States could have been the result of this treasonous act. To be continued, to be continued. Trump suggesting that death would be the right punishment for Mark Milley. I want to remind everybody, Trump hit with order banning threats and intimidation. A judge issued a protective order late last week in a lawsuit to bar the former president from Colorado's 2024 presidential ballot. Trump is being specifically admonished by judges in different cases he's involved in. Don't threaten people, don't intimidate people. It is conceivable that Mark Milley could be involved in some of Trump's upcoming criminal trials. And in fact, The Independent writes, the former president's comments could potentially run afoul of his release conditions ahead of his trials related to the special counsel investigations against him in the Mar-a-Lago documents and 2020 election conspiracy cases. He has been warned to avoid publicly attacking court officers and potential witnesses on social media. Indeed, Mark Milley could be a potential fact witness. And in fact, there are individuals who are posting to X and other platforms. Trump might, it seems random. Why is Trump randomly going after Mark Milley? The argument that some are making is that Trump is catching wind that Milley may indeed be testifying against Trump. And so this is part of the witness intimidation and ongoing tampering that Trump tries to do with people who might have the facts against him. Trump believes genuinely that if he can just figure out a way to become president, he can sink the U.S. into a de facto dictatorship where he will be able to save himself. That's Trump's priority right now. I hope it will not happen. His statements reek of desperation. He's scared. He's terrified. He realizes there's a risk he spends life in prison. I don't think it's a big risk. It is technically possible. I don't think likely. A third of the voters of the United States, remember, of eligible voters, tons of people don't vote. About a third of the eligible voters of this country want Trump to win and to do these things. And that's as big as, or even bigger of a problem. Around a quarter of the country would be okay with some form of Trumpian dictatorship as long as it enforced their values, including Trump getting himself out of trouble. And Ron DeSantis has actually used the phrase, we will impose our will, not we will lobby and go through the legal process to get the agenda we want made law through the processes we have. No, it's we will impose our will. When they say it, we should believe it. Remember how close we got in January of 2021 with the riots and the ideas of Pence doing this, that, and the other thing. The good news for us who care about the rule of law, law and order, checks and balances, and the Constitution. I know they claim to, but it's actually we who do. The good news for us is Trump can't do all of this by himself. He's not going to be able to steal the election. One of these things he might be able to do, but he's not going to be able to steal the election, get himself out of legal scrutiny, take out Comcast, NBC, all the media outlets he doesn't like, get all of the Trump rioters out of trouble. He's not going to be able to do all of it without help, okay, and cooperation. So to the extent that we vote everywhere that we are able to, and we remain vigilant, etc., we should be able to prevent him from accomplishing all of those things. Can we prevent him from accomplishing any of those things? Remains to be seen. But it reinvigorates our fervor for voting, which I will certainly be talking to you about again.